What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest and newest edition of the Total Sports Ozone. Coming at you every day at this time. I am the big old with the big mouth. And I'm coming at you every day at this time. Give you my take on what's going on in the world of sports. Today, we're going to go over the last night's Monday Night Football games. One was okay. The other one, yeah, we'll get to that. And I'm going to give you my top five picks. I know everybody has their power rankings and NFL and ESPN and CBS and Yahoo Sports. All of them have their power rankings. I'm going to give you my top five in both the NFL and college football. Plus, as right about now, in a few minutes, the MLB playoffs start with the Tigers and the Guardians. That is the first game of today's playoff games. Wild card round starts in a few minutes. So good luck to all the teams in the playoffs. This is second season. Whatever happened as of Sunday does not matter now. All that matters is trying to get that ring. So good luck to all the teams. And yes, I'm a homer. I'm a Guardians fan. And after what they did, I hope they go as far as they can. I know a lot of people doesn't think they're not going to go that far, but that's why they play the games. So let's see what happens. But good luck to all the teams today. First, let's get into last night's NFL Monday Night Football games. I know the Dolphins won, but they really lost. In my eyes, they won, but they lost because that win last night, 27-21 over the New York Jets, came at a hefty price. Tyreek Hill, man, you know he's their best player. He's their best receiver. He's probably their best player. And it's been confirmed that he will be out for the rest of the season with the torn ACL and a broken knee. It's a shame, really, because without him, I don't think the Dolphins have a chance to win any more than maybe another game or two. I know they have Jason Waller, but Tyreek Hill, they don't call him the cheetah for nothing. I know he hasn't looked too much like the cheetah so far this year, but he's still their best receiver. And without him, maybe they'll give a couple of teams a run, but I don't think they'll win too many games. And it's a terrible shame that happened to them because they actually looked pretty good last night for once this year. They actually looked like a team. They did. But that's because they're playing the Jets. Now, I remember last week on one of my shows that I had a segment on who I thought of the teams that were 0-3 at the time, who I thought could make a realistic run at a playoff spot in the NFL. And of all the 0-3 teams, I believe there were 6 of them, I picked the New York Jets as the 0-3 team to have a good shot at making a playoff run. Not after the way I saw last night. I can't. I have to retract that statement. They don't know how to finish. They don't know how to get out of their own way, really. I mean, they had a legitimate chance to win that game last night. But you got to hang on to the goddamn ball. You just got to hang on to the ball. And that's the problem with the Jets. I've noticed that. They've been in almost every game except maybe the Buffalo game. They've been in every game. Look at it. You can look it up. They've been in every game. First game with the Steelers. The game with the Tampa Bay Bucks. And last night's game. Even though they were losing, they pretty much was losing the whole game. They still had a chance to steal that game. And I don't know, for some reason, the Jets do something. I don't know if it's ill-advised penalty. a turnover in the most critical situation. Last night was a little bit of both. They had some badly ill-timed penalties, and they were really stupid penalties. False start, a push-off, offensive pass interference in the end zone, and they turned the ball over 3 times. So you had all that up, and they only lost by 6. You gotta be, if you're a Jets fan, you gotta wonder, what is this team voodoo hexed? Are they cursed? What in the hell is going on that this team blows games late? And that's what they've done. Except for the Buffalo game when they just got the world beat out of them. The other 3 games, they've had chances to win them. Golden chances. I mean, when you block a field goal and run it all the way back for a touchdown, you would figure with what was it, about a minute or so left in the game, you figure you had that game won. Nope. Let Tampa Bay come right downfield. Bing bong, bing da bing da bong da bong da bing bong. Steal the game at them at the buzzer with a field goal. What is going on with them? I mean, they lost 3 fumbles. That's not going to help you. You lost 3 fumbles. You can't really blame Justin Fields at all. He played as good as he can play. I mean, he really did. And I've always said, when your quarterback is leading the team in rushing yards for that game, you got a problem. That doesn't really bode well when your quarterback leads the team in rushing. And that's exactly what happened last night. Justin Fields had 81 yards on 7 carries. He did score a touchdown. He pretty much was their offense last night. 2 for 226 on 20 of 27, 2 touchdowns. 1 touchdown. He only had 2 sacks. He was pretty much at the whole show for the Jets. But again, fumbles and ill-timed penalties shot them down in a game where they really had a chance to steal, especially after Tyreek Hill went out. They had a golden opportunity to steal this game, and they just do something to mess it up. I don't know if that's coaching. I don't know if that's, it's definitely discipline. But I don't know what the answer could be. But they better find an answer. I don't think that coach that is going to last too long. And it's a shame, really, because the Jets, as I see it, are, I would say, maybe 3 plays away from not being 0-4, but being 3-1. 3 plays. 3 plays. They are 3 plays away from being not 0-4, but 3-1. But that's the difference between the haves, the have-nots, the goods, and the bads of the NFL. A play here, a play there means the difference between a win and a loss. We all know that. But the Jets can't seem to get that one play, that 1 or 2 plays that they need to give them the win. And I know they're 0-4, but I don't consider the Jets scrubs because they've been in, like I said, they've been in every game right at the end, except the second game against the Bills. So, they're not that far away from actually being a decent team. Just got to get out of your own way. Be a little bit more disciplined, especially in the 4th quarter. They don't need these stupid penalties and ill-timed turnovers. Take care of the ball. Be disciplined. I know it's kind of hard to do that when you've been playing that hard for three quarters. But the 4th quarter is when you win the game. It ain't the 1st quarter. It ain't halftime. It's the 4th quarter. That's when you win games, and that's where the Jets have faltered. That is where the Jets have just crumbled with the game on the line. They gotta do something to correct that. I don't know if they ever win the game. And they have the talent on both sides of the ball to win games. But They just got to put it all together somehow. Get it right. Put it all together. I don't know if they're capable of doing that. I don't know if the coach can drill that and instill that in them. It's up to him to be able to do that. But still, it comes down to execution on the field. The Jets have to get out of their own way. Just plain and simple. If they can do that, they'll win a few games. Do I think they'll make the playoffs? Hell no. I have to retract that statement. I thought they could have a realistic shot because the Dolphins were a beatable team. But they came up short because of penalties and turnovers. Hopefully they'll get that right and get that those things corrected as we go along the season. But last night, it cost them a win, a 6-point loss. And it's been, I believe, I saw the graphic earlier today, the Jets haven't beaten Miami in the last 10 tries. They got to do something. Get out of their own way. It's like they standing on that track, that train coming, they just don't feel like moving out the tracks. Well, I wouldn't want to get hit by a train, would you? I know I wouldn't. So just got to get out of their own way. But right now, they're standing 0-4. But I think that, like I said, Miami won the game, but they lost the game. When you lose your best player for the season, how do you replace a Tyreek Hill? Who's going to replace him? Well, they got to find somebody quick. I mean, Jaden Waddle's good. Yeah, he's good, but he's not Tyreek Hill. A-Chain, he's running back. He's going to run him to death. And he can catch it out of the backfield, that's for sure. But he is no Tyreek Hill. And two attack will be over. He needs a deep threat. Now, Waddle can go deep sometime, but not all the time, not like Tyreek Hill. I mean, a guy like the Cheetah knows how to get open. All you got to do is hit him. Now they lost him for the season. I don't know which way they go from here. And Josh McDaniels needs to figure out which way they go from here. He needs to figure it out fast. Yes, they won the game last night. That's great. Gets them off the schneid. But did they really win? This we'll find out as the season goes along. But last night, they did just enough to pick up the victory, 27-21, to get off the schneid, and they're now 1-3. The other game last night, I'm a Browns fan. I'm not ashamed to admit that. So when any of the other teams in the division lose badly, it makes me feel good. It does. It makes me feel good. I'm sorry. The Bengals took another one on the chin last night. That's 2 straight games where they've been bombed. What's the common denominator about those 2 games? No Joe Burrow. You can see last night how much Joe Burrow means to this franchise. He is it. Jamar Chase, yeah. Chase Higgins, yeah. Blah, 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 blah. If you don't have Joe Burrow, you don't have a chance. Period, point blank, in the discussion. And last night proved that. Denver whooped the Bengals 28-3. Here's the stat. The Bengals scored the first 3 points of the game on 12 plays. Bloop. Went downfield, got a field goal. They never crossed midfield again. They punted 8 straight times. And I believe their longest drive after the first drive was 6 plays. 6. They couldn't do anything. I believe they crossed midfield once in the second half. I misspoke. I think they crossed midfield once the rest of the game. But 8 straight punts. Never a drive longer than 6 plays. They were inept, incomplete passes. I mean, forget about running the ball. Forget about that. Forget about running the ball. I mean, see, Brown had 40 yards and 10 carries. That's it. As long as running 6 yards. Jay Browning, please. You talk about pedestrian numbers. Pedestrian. He didn't even throw an interception. He only had 125 yards on 14 caught passes. 5 yards. Was sacked 3 times. I mean, he didn't turn the ball over. He didn't throw an interception. He couldn't do nothing right. I mean, he got the weapons, but Higgins, 32 yards on 3 catches and 6 targets. Jamar Chase, 23 yards, 8 targets, 23 yards on 5 catches. No touchdowns. It's not like you got the cupboard is bare with Joe Burrow's gone. But Jake Browning ain't it. Yeah, maybe he was it last year. He won a few games from last, but he ain't it this year. You can tell that. And what I want to know is why the Bengals being so cheap. They know they need another quarterback. They know this. Why don't they go out and find one? Hell, take one of the rookies from the Browns. Don't seem like the Browns want to play them, so take one of them. Coach him up, develop him a little bit, throw him out there, let him play, see what he can do. The Bengals ain't going nowhere without Joe Burrow. That is a proven fact. They ain't going nowhere without Joe Burrow. And he's going to be out, till maybe late November, early December at best? The season might be over by then. So why would you play him? But the way they're going, the season might be over. Unless the Bengals turn it around somehow. I say, go get another quarterback. Browning ain't getting it. He ain't handling business like he did last year when Joe Burrow got hurt. He's not doing that this year. But we all know, all the NFL gurus know, the Bengals is one of the cheapest organizations in the league. They pinch pennies till Abraham Lincoln is screaming for mercy. So they all know they ain't going to go shopping for another quarterback, and they need to. After these last 2 weeks, don't you think they need... I'll ask you guys, don't you think the Bengals need to go out and find a quarterback like PDQ? Jake Browning is not the answer. Don't know why, but he is not the answer. And when you got 2 star receivers in Higgins and Jamar Chase, you got to get somebody that can get him the ball at least half the time. So the Bengals need to open their pockets, open them bank accounts, and get a quarterback. Or at least, even if it's on an emergency basis, they need to get him one, and they need to get him one this week. Because it ain't looking any good for the Bengals. You're not helping the defense because you're always punting. So the damn defense got to go on the field pretty much every, 4 to 6 plays. Couldn't get no long sustained drive because you can't move the ball. So that puts the defense in a bad position. Because they already tired because they've been on the field most of the game. They need to get a quarterback. They don't need nothing else. I don't think they need anything else. They need to find someone to sit Jake Browning back down on the bench. And until they do that, ain't no hope for the Bengals. Yeah, they 2-2, but they should be 1-3. Everybody know that. The only reason why they ain't 1-3 is because the Browns didn't have a kicker that could kick straight that day in week 1. So they should be 1-3. They got blessed with 1 victory. And actually, their first 2 games, they were blessed. But now, you see the real Cincinnati Bengals without Joe Burrow. They ain't nothing but some bums. I hate to say that, but that's who they are. They're scrubs. Without Joe Burrow, the Bengals are average at best. And it showed last night. 28-3. Denver throttled the Bengals. Throttled. I mean, the Bengals had no offense after the first drive. None. 8 straight punts? Really? Now, I know the Browns suck, but not even the worst teams in the NFL punt 8 straight times. I mean, some of them will get in field goal range at certain point during the game, not just going on 8 straight punts. Man, you might as well go home. If you're gonna just do nothing but punt, just leave the punter out there. Take a knee for 3 downs and then go punt. Because that's what it seemed like they were doing. They might as well just took the knee for 3 downs and then on the 4th down punt the ball. That's what it looked like they were doing. As far as the Broncos, Bo Nix had fun. 326-yard passing on 29 of 42, 2 touchdowns. He did throw an interception, and he was not sacked, not once. Great, there was decent numbers. I take those numbers all day for a quarterback. And he had help. J.K. Dobbins, Ohio State, baby. 101 yards on 16 totes. He controlled the line. He kept moving them chains. Why not? Bengals couldn't have no way to stop him. Cortland Sutton, 81 yards on 5 grabs with 6 targets, 1 touchdown. Richard Harvey, 40 yards on only 4 touches, but he caught a touchdown. They had fun with the Bengals out there. And why not? They kept getting the ball back. They didn't have to do too much. All they had to do is let the Bengals be the Bengals. And then punt. And you get the ball. They did what they wanted to do. I think they could have scored more. But I think they took the foot off the gas over like around halfway through the 3rd. But it is what it is. Again, Bengals will not be anything of significance until Joe Burrow comes back. And he's not going to be back till late in the season. Only thing, if you're a Bengals fan, you hope that they get to the point when Joe Burrow comes back and they're still in the hunt for a playoff run, for a wild card. Forget the division. You just hope they're in the hunt when Joe Burrow comes back. We'll find out. Anyway, that's what happened last night in Monday Night Football, so that puts a wrap on week 4. Again, this is the big old with the big mouth in the Total Sports Ozone coming at you. Hit that like and subscribe button for me if you like what you're hearing, if you like what you're seeing. All right, we're going to get into who I think is my top 5 power ranks for week 4 of the NFL. My top 5. Now, last week I had Tampa Bay because they were 3-0. But I couldn't put them any higher because I said, who have you played? You have played no one, and you won those no ones, beat those no ones by a grand total of 6 points. Beat Atlanta by 3. You beat the Texans by 1 right at the end, and you got by the Jets on a late field goal to win the game by 2. So I couldn't put, they were 3-0, but I couldn't put them in my top 5. Why? You ain't played nobody of significance. Well, you had a chance to play somebody of significance last Sunday, and you lost. You lost. So Tampa Bay's out of my top 5. So here is my top 5 teams from the ending of week 4. Number 5, I'm going to put the Chiefs. I told you. I don't know if you've heard any of my couple of my previous shows. I told you. I told y'all. Said don't be sleeping on the Chiefs because they just started off 0-2. Don't be sleeping on them. And now they're getting their players back. Got Xavier Worthy back. And they put him to work. In a week or two, they're going to be getting Rasheed Rice back. And Travis Kelce, once he just calmed down a little bit, he's catching that ball again. Patrick Mahomes is slowly looking like the Patrick Mahomes that we know. Slowly but surely. They hung 37 points on the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, I know the Ravens a little bit banged up on defense, but I don't care. I told you. I told y'all. Don't be sleeping up. Don't be putting the Chiefs to the side and say, oh, they ain't going to do nothing this year. Right. Chiefs started off slow. A lot of teams do. Champions, teams you expect to be right there in the mix every year. Sometimes some start off slow. Injuries, suspensions, stuff like that. But when they get the pieces back together, it's a long season. We just ended week 4. We still got 13 of these bad boys to do. So don't sleep on them Chiefs. That's why I got them at number 5. Even though they're 2-2, they're coming. And they beat one of them teams that was supposed to be a Super Bowl contender. Baltimore Ravens got a lot of problems. And now that Lamar Jackson's hurt, they're 1-3. Banged up and beat up. But that's it. Don't ever sleep on the Chiefs until somebody proves to me that they can beat them in the playoffs. I ain't never gonna sleep on the Chiefs. You can cry about winners fatigue all you want. You don't want them to be in the Super Bowl. Somebody better go out there and beat them. And the Bills haven't done it, and the Ravens don't know how to do it. They don't know how. So that's why, until otherwise, I know that the Chiefs will always be in the mix. And I got them this week in my top 5 at number 5. Number 4, I'm going to put the LA Rams. Yeah, I know they hung one, bad one, let one go against the Eagles, but you can't sleep. That team is really, really good. Matthew Stafford, Chua, that team is really, really good. I think they're well coached. They don't beat themselves too much, although they might have done that week ago against Philly. They don't do that too much. They don't turn the ball over too much, and they're well coached. I don't even see them getting too many penalties, but they're a well coached team, and you got to worry about them. If you're in there and you're in the NFC West, they're a problem. They are a problem. I don't care about Seattle, what Seattle say, and 49ers, they're in a lot of trouble because they're banged up in a lot of positions, and they just lost to the Jaguars. So they're in a lot of trouble. They got a lot of things they need to work out. So right now, I got the LA Rams 4th. I got them 4th. Number 3, team that just whooped my Browns, the Detroit Lions. Everybody thought, oh, Green Bay smoked them, and oh man, Detroit's going to have a problem. They got new offensive coordinator, and they don't know what they're doing on offense, and all these weapons, they don't know what to do with them. Look at them now. Look at them now. Look at them now. Their last 3 games, they scored 52, 38, and 34 points in their last 3 games. 52, 38, and 34. That's 124 points in 3 games. That's a nice little tidy 40, what is it? 40.2 or 8 yards. 40 point, I know my math right, 124 yards in 3 games. Yeah, 40.1 and some change points per game. Is anybody going to be able to slow that train down? They hung 34 points on the number 1 statistically rated, number 1 defense in the NFL. And they hung 34 points on them. On the best defense in the league. And made it look somewhat easy. I'm telling you, Amon-Ra St. Brown is the truth. He's one of the best receivers in the game. And if you don't think so, just watch him play. They got weapons all over on offense. Laporta, Gibbs, Williams, Jared Goff. It's like pick your poison with the Detroit Lions. How you want to lose today? Do you want us to run the ball down your throat? Do you want us to throw it all over your head? How you want to lose? I think they be going in the game probably telling another team, hey, how y'all want to lose today? Other team be like, oh. But I got them number 3. That one loss, I think it was just first game jitters for the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. I think it was just first game jitters. Plus, they were playing on the road in Green Bay. Green Bay is no slouch of a team. But ever since, they've been on the roll, especially on offense. And it's like, now you're looking at the Detroit Lions like, who can stop this offense? Don't know. Somebody better. I got them number 3. Number 2, still got the Buffalo Bills. Undefeated, although the Saints gave them a little bit of a shake. If you saw the Bills playing in Saints Sunday, it wasn't no cakewalk like I thought it was going to be. Oh, yeah, the Bills pulled away late. They pulled away late. But for about 2.5 to 3 quarters, Saints hung with the Bills, which gives me a moment of reasoning. The Bills, do the Bills play up to or play down to the level of their competition? Because if you remember, against the Ravens, well, 3.5 quarters, the Ravens dominated that game. They just started making mistakes in the end, and Josh Allen and playing with a sense of urgency that he hadn't played the whole game took over, and the Ravens couldn't handle it and turned the ball over late and let the Bills come back and pick them off. But for 3.5 quarters, Ravens were dominating this game. That is my concern with the Buffalo Bills, is the sense of urgency, especially playing against teams that they know they're more vastly inferior to, or vastly superior to. That is my concern with the Bills, and that's why I can't put them at number 1. The Bills need to learn when they got a team down, step on the throat and twist. That's the only way you're going to serve notice to everybody that you're going to be playing against, including the Kansas City Chiefs, that we didn't stay. And that's what they need to do. They don't need to be sleepwalking against inferior opponents. That ain't the way they're going to get it. You ain't going to send that message. And that's a bad habit to get into. The Bills can't be, I don't think anybody can beat them in the AFC. Straight up, I don't think anybody can beat them except maybe the Chiefs. But against inferior competition, the Bills, both on offense and on defense, need to play with a little bit more sense of urgency. Nevertheless, I still got them at number 2. And of course, probably everybody's number 1. The undefeated, still undefeated, reigning, defending NFL world champions, Philadelphia Eagles. Do you know the Eagles ain't lost a game in pretty much almost a calendar year? They haven't lost. They have not lost. And the thing about the Eagles is no game they played has been that easy. Won by 4 against Dallas. They won, by 5 last week at Tampa Bay? They had to do a miraculous comeback to beat the Rams. One on a blocked field goal that got ran back for a touchdown to seal the game. But have you noticed? The Eagles find a way to win? And it's not like they've been playing chumps. They haven't. You might go to Dallas, maybe. But they've been playing, when you're the hunted, You're going to get every team's A game. You're going to get their best shot. You're supposed to. They want to, that team wants to prove that they can knock you off. They haven't done it, but that's what the Eagles going to get. Now I know there's been a little rift going on with AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts because AJ Brown feels he's not getting the ball enough. I think they'll work that out. But here's what I'm saying: you take what the defense gives you. The Eagles got weapons all over. Got the best running back in the league. Jalen Hurts, he was MVP of the Super Bowl. So it's not like he has to press. All the Eagles need to do is take what the defense gives them. If it gives them the run, hand that ball off to Barkley and let him do what he do. If they boxing 8 in the box, you know they're going to stop Barkley. Get creative. Get it to him out of the backfield. Get AJ Brown in the slot. Let him work. I think that's a minor problem. I think because when you're 4-0, when you're undefeated, you might have little nitpick problems, but you ain't gonna have too many big time issues. I think they'll work all that out in due time. That's just how I feel. But they still find ways to win, even when the offense isn't clicking right or the defense isn't clicking right. They still find ways to win, and that's why they're still number one. And that's why it's still undefeated. They find ways to win. Getting their team's best shot. Getting every team's best shot. Their A game. Still find a way to send the other team home with an L. That's why they're number one. And they're going to stay number one until somebody proves that they can beat them. That's my top 5 NFL teams for the week of ending of week 4. Got the Chiefs at 5. We got the Rams at 4. We got the Detroit Lions 3rd. The Buffalo Bills 2nd. And the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles at number 1. What do you think? So anybody else be in the top 5 that I might have missed? Are the Chiefs too high? Should the Bills and Eagles be flip-flop? Let me know. Hit me with a comment. Please like and subscribe. But hit me with a comment. Let me know what you think. I might be wrong. I don't think so. But I might be. You let me know. All right, let's shift gears. We'll move on to college football. Well, I'm going to do the same thing in college football, my top 5. Now, we got ESPN's FPI and the AP and the Coaches Poll, blah, 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 blah. I don't like those rankings. I never liked those rankings. They all biased. They all got some kind of bias, especially ESPN. But, again, I'm going to let you know my top 5 teams in college football based on what I've seen and what I project of them over the next couple of weeks. And this is my top 5 for the week of ending week 5. Number 5? You know who I'm going to go with number 5? Ole Miss. Ole Miss. I'm going with Ole Miss at number 5. Man, I didn't think they could beat LSU. But then I forgot, LSU's offense stinks. For a team that was ranked in the top 5, their offense is really, I say again, wishy-washy. It's Charlie Brownish. Wishy-washy. I didn't know how wishy-washy they are until I saw them play Ole Miss. Honestly, I think Ole Miss took their foot off the gas. I know it's a little like to come back, but if Ole Miss plays with a little bit more sense of urgency, they could have blown out LSU. I really think they could. Now that's a credit to LSU's defense. I think LSU has one of the top defenses in the country, but their offense need to get together. They need to get it together. Do I think LSU is a playoff team? Yeah, right now. Right now, I do. But if they don't get that offense straightened out, nope. They're gonna lose 2 or 3 more games or one or two more games, let me say, and they're going to be finding themselves out of the picture in the playoffs. You need to get that offense together. You got a great defense. Let the offense play that complementary football. Anyway, Ole Miss played complementary football enough to pick off the number 4 team in the country. So I got Ole Miss in my top 5 at number 5. I got number 4. I'm going to go with, you might be surprised you might be surprised when I say this. My number 14 is Indiana. Y'all know y'all be like, what? Indiana? How you got them? Have you seen them play? Now, I doubted them because I thought they didn't play nobody. But when you hang 63 points on a ranked team, and then you go the next week, now, after that, you figure there's got to be some sort of a letdown that's going to happen. You say after you hang 63 points on a top 10 team, especially it being a conference in your own conference, you figure there's going to be some sort of letdown when you got to, next week you got to go on the road and play a team that's always got good defense. That what they did. And Iowa was hanging with them until Indiana found a way to hit them with a 49-yard touchdown to give them the lead, and they held on for the win. Their offense is lights out. And Iowa might have slowed it down, but it couldn't do enough to prevent Indiana from winning. I got Indiana number 4. You might not think so. Oh, what about Oklahoma? Oklahoma lost the quarterback. Fortunately, they have a bye week. Is he going to be back next week? Doubt it. Will he be back in time for the Red River Shootout at the State Fair in Dallas? Doubt it. He has surgery on his thumb, so I can't put Oklahoma in my top 5. If the quarterback was not hurt, yeah, I'll put him at top 5 easily. Be Michigan, be Auburn. Oh, yeah, I'll put him in there. Not this week. I'm going to put Indiana in my top 5. That's right, I say Indiana. They are undefeated, aren't they? Number 3, there's been some controversy on this. I've had some controversy on this. Should I give it to Miami? Should I give it to Oregon? I flipped the coin. It's Miami. It's Miami. I got to put Miami number 3, even though they did not play this week. I got to give it to number. I got to give number 3, slot it to Miami Hurricanes. Yes, they look really good. Got a decent resume. Beat 2 ranked teams. Yes, South Florida was ranked when they played them. Slaughtered them. Beat Notre Dame. Even though Notre Dame should not be ranked, they are ranked. So you got to put them on the resume. But I don't think they've been severely tested yet. It's coming though. Florida State. I believe that's this weekend. Florida State. I would rank Miami higher. But I got to see what they do against Florida State. If they beat Florida State, it might be smooth sailing for them. It might be smooth sailing for them. If you bet, and you can bet your last dollar, Florida State gonna be fuming after getting picked off by Virginia. They're gonna be fuming at the mouth, trying to knock off a top 5 team again. So for now, I got Miami as my 3rd best team in the country. Now, number 2, again, some more controversy between 1 and 2. Now, some people have Oregon at 1, Ohio State at 2. Of course, the AP don't see it that way. A lot of people's polls see it that way. The FPI of ESPN sees it that way. You know what I see? Oregon's still number 2. Oregon bumped up to number 2. You got to give them credit. They took down a top 5 team on the road in a very hostile environment. Had to go to overtime to do it, but they did it. So you got to give them credit for that. Other than that, who have they played? Who have they played? Nobody of significance. I don't want to hear Oklahoma State. They just fired the coach. They just fired their coach. So don't give me that blowout Oklahoma State. Oh, they beat a Power 4 team. Oklahoma State, really? They couldn't even beat Tulsa at home. The game that got their coach, Mike Gundy, fired. So I don't want to hear about they play somebody of significance talking about, they beat Oklahoma State. Don't give me that. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Oregon got a nice win on the road, hostile environment against Penn State. They're at number 2. Why? Because the number 1 team is who I'm wearing on my hat, Ohio State. They've been number 1 ever since they beat Texas, and they should stay number 1. Why? Because ain't nobody beat them yet. Ain't nobody come close to beating them yet. They went out west. Washington. Washington wasn't ranked, but they had the highest scoring offense in all the land. Just a tad under 56 points per game. How many points they scored against Ohio State? In their house. 6. 2 measly field goals. That's it. 3 trips to the red zone, 2 field goals, and that was it. That's it. That's why Ohio State number 1. Best defense in the land. The offense might be so-so, but I believe that offense will pick up the more Julian Sand gets acclimated to being the man at quarterback. The more he trusts his weapons. And he got plenty of weapons. Plus, they finally getting the running game a little bit. Donovan and Bo Jackson, they're getting the running game. And you know all the weapons he got on at receiver. Smith, Tate. They got weapons all over the place. Tight end, he loves the tight end, Julian Sand. But right now, they're like middle of the road in offense. There's no doubt who's the best defense in the country. You know, everybody should know. If you don't know it by now, Ohio State has only given up 2 touchdowns all year. And a total of 22 points in 4 games. That's 5.5 points per game allowed. By far the best in the country. That's why they're number 1. Yeah, they're going to get team's best shot, and they're going to get shut down. A lot of people thought Washington was going to boat race Ohio State. Really? Must have totally forgot the defense. It's the best in the country. And I thought last year's defense was pretty damn good. This year's might even be better. And I don't care about, they haven't played anybody. They beat Texas. Went out on the road in West in a hostile environment and held the highest scoring team in the country to 6 points. Don't tell me they ain't played nobody. Don't play. You can tell me that, but that's all the haters. Ohio State deserves to be the number 1 team in the country until somebody beats them. Plain and simple. It's plain and simple as that, y'all. Ohio State is the number 1 team in this country until somebody beats them. Will it be Penn State? I know that team up north, the fans from that team up north, they can't wait. Neither can I. But that's at the end of the year. During now and then, who's going to beat them? Illinois? Penn State? I don't know. Now, if the defense plays the way they've been playing, I don't see a team beating them. I honestly don't. If that defense keeps up the pace they are, and it's kind of like, it's kind of hard to think that they would keep up that pace on defense. Kind of far-fetched. But even if they just be a tick, if they give up a couple of points more per game than they are now, they're still going to be the best defense in the league. You can't run on them. On third down, you can't. They get you off the field. They can do no wrong on defense. Considering they can't do no wrong right now on defense. That's why they're number 1 team. No team, nobody else in the rankings defense is better than Ohio State. And I put that on everything I know. Right now, through 5 weeks, nobody's defense is better than Ohio State's. No one's. When you only giving up 2 touchdowns, two in 4 games, come on now. That's usually that's unheard of. That don't happen too often. It's happening with Ohio State. So that's why they're the number one. So that's my top five for the week of ending week 5. I got Ole Miss 5th. I got Indiana 4th. I got Miami 3rd, Oregon 2nd, and Ohio State Buckeyes number 1. You might think, Oregon should be number 1. Let me know why. Leave me a comment. Let me know why you think Oregon is better than Ohio State. Each team has a win in against a top 10 team, top 5 team. Really, really. Only thing different is Ohio State's win came at home, and Oregon's win came on the road in overtime. But that offsets. And the rest of the games they played pretty much either been against good or weak competition. So all that offsets until Ohio State gets beat. They're number 1. That's how I see it. How do you see it? Leave me a comment. Leave me a comment. Like, subscribe. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. I'll read all comments, and I'll debate it if I think it's wrong, or I'll agree with it if I think it's right. Well, what do you think? Who's your top 5? Let me know in the comments. All right, we're gonna talk one more. We got a little bit of time left. We're gonna talk about the playoffs, MLB playoffs. They starting right now. Right now as we speak. The first game is being played right now. Right as we speak. First game's being played. And as of right now, at the end of the third, Detroit is up over Cleveland 1-0 at the end of the third. So we got the baseball playoffs in full effect. Game after this one, this is game going on right now. The game after this one will be the Cubs against the San Diego Padres, best of 3 in Chicago. And then later on this evening, you got Boston playing at New York, best of 3 in the wild card. And then later on at night, tonight will be the Cincinnati Reds at the LA Dodgers. Now, my question to you guys is, who's your pick to win this whole thing? Who do you think is going to be hoisting that trophy after this whole tournament is over with and become World Series champions? I would like to see, I'm biased, I would like to see an all Ohio World Series. I would love it. I would love it. An all Ohio World Series. Do I think it's going to happen? I seriously doubt it. And I believe Vegas seriously doubts it too. Sports books and all, they doubt it too. So being realistic, who I think is going to win this whole thing, I think it's going to be Phillies. I think it will be the Philadelphia Phillies. Why? I think they're due. They've been hanging around for the last 3 years, and they have never been able to bust through that ceiling to win the World Series. I think it's time. I really think it's time. Now, who will they play in the World Series? Who knows? My guess it would be probably either Boston or New York. I truly believe that it'd be Boston or New York. Seattle's had a good season, with Riley hitting all those home runs, 61 home runs. And Toronto Blue Jays finally winning the division, first time in like 10 years, holding off the Yankees to win the AL East. Yeah. But still, I think it's going to be New York and Philly in the World Series. New York Yankees and the Philadelphia Phillies in the World Series. Phillies take it in 6. That's my guess. That's what I think was going to happen in baseball. What I hope would happen is that the Cleveland Guardians and the Cincinnati Reds meet in the World Series. I think that would shut the state of Ohio down. It would shut the state of Ohio down. Both Ohio teams in the World Series, it sure would help with travel. That's all they had to do is travel up and down I-71. It's only 4 hours. They ain't gonna have to take a plane. They can ride a bus down there. But that's what I would hope will make it to the World Series. Like I said, that's who I hope will make it. Who I think will be in the World Series. The New York Yankees and the Philadelphia Phillies, with the Phillies winning this in 6. What do you think? Who you got winning this all? Hit me up in the comments. All right? All right, it's time for me to get out of here. On tomorrow's show, we're going to preview the top games from college football for week 6. We'll look at all the big matchups, who's in, who's out. And we're going to have a discussion. We're going to keep following up on the Major League Baseball playoffs until this is all over with. Plus, we're going to look at the major injuries. Tomorrow, I'm gonna get a better seat of all the injuries. Tyreek Hill and some others, Lamar Jackson, and see what their prospect is. How long they be out? Will they be back this season? We already know Tyreek Hill is out for the season. But what about some other major injuries? We're gonna look over that tomorrow. All right. This is the big O with the big mouth for the Total Sports Ozone. Again, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Hit the like and subscribe if you like what I'm saying, and always drop me a comment. Also, I'm gonna have a replay of this audio on podcast on Spotify in a few minutes. All right, Big O with a big mouth signing off. Peace.